What's up, y'all? It's Nifty Q. That's Gifted. We're here with another daily rehash on Monday, December 4th. We're rolling into the week. Prices are good. Vibes are high. I'm excited to be sitting down here with my main man, Gifted. What's up, Gift? Let's get into it.
Yes, sir. Happy to be back on a big day. What a day to be alive. What a day to be a DGen, Sir Q. Y'all, we are here with the Daily Rehash. It's the top 10 stories in Web3. If my voice is all weird, it's because I've been sick. Apologies for that, but it's not going to stop us. The show must go on. Q, what is up first today?
All right, look, a lot of people were waiting for a base coin, right? We're farming over there, maybe on Friend Tech. We're doing a little bit on Friend Pet. There's not going to be a base token, according to Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase. This comes directly following the chief legal officer here, Paul Grewal, saying, I think a token could be viable at some point in the future. That was a couple months back, but it looks like Brian Armstrong throwing down the hammer, saying we need to solve things like transactions per second. We need to make sure our protocol is strong and focus less on the token side of this.
Yeah, obviously not fun, a little bit upsetting for those of us who have been playing around with some of these new dApps on base, hoping that all of that activity would net us some kind of airdrop. And you never know, something could still come in the future. I'm sure they could change their minds if they wanted to. But anyway, we'll keep it going to the next one. Brian Brinkman, a well-known artist, well-known personality in the space. He had a successful launch of his meme card today. Brian's over there seizing the memes of production, and you can see it here. A very, very colorful animated piece, very much, matches Brian's style. But yeah, really cool card here, and apparently it's sold out very, very quickly. It's an edition of 342, you can see there, and definitely getting some interest and a lot of traction on this one.
Yeah, I know we called out Brian on NFT Live about him working with the Simpsons guys and why that episode did so well. But I want to personally give a shout out. Thank you, Brian, for highlighting the space in the way that you did. And yeah, nice to see him on that 6529 there. Rektguys is joining the narrative, the token narrative here, doing a snapshot apparently on October 26, 2023. So about a month ago, there was a snapshot of holders. We will release more details on this in due course. Many are speculating that there is either a token or potentially a secondary collection. I would probably lean more on the token side, but maybe a secondary collection is actually easier to pull off. We don't know. We'll check the details.
It's an interesting point you made about like the meta right now being more in favor of some kind of token announcement. But to be clear, we really don't know. We really have no idea what this is yet. I'm very curious about that date. They chose a very specific date to do that and then announce it like a month later, which is kind of curious to me. But look, I wish I had a Rekt guy. Been saying it for a while. Maybe I can get one at some point.
Yeah, a lot of bids off this announcement as well, as you can see here. About 3 to 6 hours, there was just about 12 to 20 bids on some Rektguys. So the chart unfortunately doesn't go back all the way to that snapshot. I'd be wondering to see if anybody's front running this.
Heck yeah, man. All right, let's keep it going on to the next one. We've got an update from Seneca. All seeing Seneca, well known in the space as the original artist of the Bored Apes, launched a successful project called Perils of CC. I don't actually know if I'm saying that correctly, Q, but an awesome announcement after that successful sellout last week, and a lot of excitement around this interesting project, which, by the way, is also partnered with Transient Labs. So some interesting storytelling here. It's actually starting to remind me a little bit about a little bit of what Jack Spratt did with Skulls of Lucci, because this is Sam Spratt. Sorry about that. Jack Butcher. Yeah, Sam Spratt. My mind's still a mess. Thank you. So what Sam Spratt did with Skulls of Lucci, right? Because this is a collaborative storytelling process now, and they have announced their first judge and curator is our friend, Roger Dickerman. So love to see this. He will be helping to choose alongside the community the story entries that inspire us the most. So very cool collaboration and showing a little bit of where this is going.
Yeah, the generative artwork actually is beautiful. Like, I really like this style of art. So honestly, like, just personally, it passes the wall test for me. The other thing I would say is this project is below mint price. So it's already up from, we talked about it on NFT Live earlier this afternoon. So I think if we don't pull the trigger on this one, this is going to be one of those where we look back and like, probably should have got in.
I did.
All right. Well, I can bask in my lonesomeness here on the channel. tomorrow. All right. Anyways, top PFPs. This is going to be ones that, again, we all wish we would have gotten into at some point if you haven't. Top PFPs by USD market cap. Here's NFT stats saying Pudgy's at 4, Mad Lads at 6, Bitcoin Frogs surprisingly at 11th. And you can see MAYC slowly is sort of losing its lead here to Pudgy's. And I would guess that they are going to easily overtake MAYC here in the near future. Azuki still on this list. Captains, Miladies, and DeGods and Codas rounding out the top 10.
I mean, you can talk a lot about how this isn't great, about Yuga maybe not yet catching these bids and getting a lot of this momentum, but you can also make an argument for being healthy, that within the top 5 collections, you don't have the same ecosystem, owning literally the top 3. So right now, Punks, BAYC, and Mutants are all still Yuga assets, and those are the top 3. So, if I'm looking on the bright side, getting some more names and projects and IP up in that top 10, top 5, I think might actually be healthy long term. Obviously, not great for Yuga right now. I think they're going to be fine. But anyway, let's keep it moving. Another one of our favorite projects, Oni Force, up 35% in 7 days, and they're cooking right now. They got a lot of interesting things happening around this point system. So this is, we're not going to spend all the time going into exactly how this works here, but you can find all this in the description and on our X profile. But yeah, their point system is now being opened up to everybody. That means everybody out there, whether or not you have an Oni, it does not matter. You are able to now participate in earning points and participating in their ecosystem. Things like the Fortnite tournaments coming up. This is obviously getting ahead of that, wanting as many people to come in and participate on that. But yeah, this is all on their Medium as well, the Oni point system manifesto, but very exciting to see them opening up, broadening it up, getting more people involved in what could be a really, really interesting rewards program.
Yeah, there's a ton of reasons that we like Oni Force. Obviously, we rock them as PFPs, so we're going to be big supporters of that ecosystem. A ton of reasons why they should, be thought of in this realm of not blue chips, but I think the next up. So yeah, the supply, for example, is going to be 7,777. No secondary collection, no other token to be talked about as well. So Oni Force getting a bid, I think, going up to at least 1.3. They might have gone up to 1.4 very briefly. So we finally got to take part in that ecosystem, or I'm sorry, that kind of run up of this entire ecosystem. The one thing I will say, Gift, they're tying it a lot into the rewards, but we haven't heard anything about what those rewards look like on any timeline.
Yes and no. We do know that they've got a lot of strategic partners that I think will be offering things into that pool. But yeah, we don't have all the specs yet, and that's part of the excitement. They'll be dripping that out as we go.
How do we do a daily rehash without talking about Pudgy Penguins? They blasted over 10 ETH. Luca Nets and co are winning. This goes also to the little Pudgies, the secondary collection there. A lot of speculation around whether there's going to be a Pudgy token as well. But do yourself a favor, check out this from Xeroxiano, Zero to Hero. It's basically like a quick recap on how Pudgy Penguins went from kind of the depths of the bear market and dealing with a lot of negative sentiment to where they stand today, potentially eclipsing Bored Ape Yacht Club as one of the premier NFT collections. A lot of stuff is talked about in this, including when Luca and team bought Pudgy Penguins for $2.5 million in April 2022.
Yeah, if you're not a fan of what Luke has done here, I don't know what to tell you. It's worth a read. This is the type of stuff that really gives you perspective on what he's accomplished in a very short amount of time. But let's keep it going. It's getting to be that time of year where we get to look back at what a crazy year it's been. And Whale.Swoosh, or Whale.Mocha now, is doing just that here with a list of things that you would have been called insane at the beginning of the year if you had thought these would happen. These are just things you never would have thought. OpenSea losing most of its market share. NFT toys will be in Walmart. Gods on ETH. CryptoPunks have a 2x higher floor price than apes. Twitter will be called X. There's just a bunch of funny things in here. The ones that we came up with so far that weren't here were Bitcoin ordinals absolutely just taking off. NFTs on Bitcoin becoming a thing. Also maybe an FTX comeback story. I don't know. You got anything else, Q?
I really don't have off the top of my head. I know we talked about it on NFT Live today. The one thing I will say is the gods on Ethereum, I'll give Frank credit because that was one of the first times we saw these cross-chain jumps of NFT IP. So I'll give him some credit there. I know we're pretty critical of that collection these days, but yeah, shout out to Frank on making that one happen, showing that it could happen. All right, I've got this other chain here, this other small chain, Solana, that has been absolutely fucking taking off here over the last 3 months. You can see the collections that are doing the best. I think this is kind of listed by the amount of souls. So again, not by percentage, but Mad Lads, I believe, hit almost 190 soul at one point. So that, Tensorians, Claynosaurs, I believe OK Bears is up top. I really vibe with the OK Bears. I love what they did with their collection, where they're providing value back to their holders of the profit on the latest merchandise drop through Zara. So I really like OK Bears, but there's probably a lot of unis in here.
Yeah, this is great to see because, again, there's only a few that I'm super familiar with. I did officially pick up. Do you call it aping in on Solana? I aped in on an OK Bear and into a Bodago, and I'm getting a little bit more active over there and excited about what's happening over there.
You've never sounded more like a boomer than in that.
Let's go. Do you call it aping in on Sol? Anyway, Floor Protocol, going to wrap us up here with a big story to end the day. Potentially a game changer for any of us holding NFTs that are listed on their platform, which is quite a few now. I don't have it right in front of me, but Q, if you're able to show it real quick, that could be cool. But basically, they're introducing staking for NFTs. So there's fees that, are taken whenever you are moving NFTs in and out of their pools, of their liquidity pools. And now they're going to be taking those fees and basically rewarding those who are staking their NFTs in there. So this could be an opportunity. And I've got at least a few Onis that I know I could be potentially staking in there.
Yeah, a couple things. So what did you want me to pull up?
Oh, it's all good. I can go look while you talk.
Okay. Yeah, I've got the flooring collections here. I also have the flooring token as well.
Flooring collections. That was
it. Yeah. So I have the flooring lab credits here. You also know it's a bull market when you go back to the original post, and they were like basically saying that we're keeping track of everyone that's doing things on our platform, aka wink, wink. Going to be airdropping some people tokens. I think this is one of the safer farms, to be honest. We will jump into this tonight or tomorrow morning and kind of talk about it on both GM-Web3 and NFT Live tomorrow, though, because it's worth it, and I think it is one of the safer farms, not financial advice. All right, guys, that was the daily rehash for Monday. Just starting the week. Excited about the energy. Hopefully we get an ETF approval at the end of the month. That would gig ascend everything. Let's get it, man. OVOT.